Okay. So, what the actual hell did we just get sent?
I honestly don't know what to say.
I mean, forget the usual intro, forget the structure. We are just jumping straight in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the level of immediate ecstatic shock I am feeling right now has just completely wiped the floor with any sense of professionalism. This landed, what, seconds ago?
Seconds. You need to check your email right now if you haven't seen it. We were literally testing levels.
30 seconds from starting.
Yeah, just making sure the microphones are right and this file drops. I had to, pause because the file path alone is giving me heart palpitations.
The file path, I'm looking at it right now on my screen.
The specificity is just, it's terrifying. V2VHUB.
Straight into 11SX music.
Straight into a subfolder D.L.B 2025.
That is surgically, terrifyingly clean. This doesn't look like a fan mock-up.
No.
This is not something stitched together from 10 different blurry Reddit threads and, a disclip screenshot.
Not at all. This looks like someone with high-level clearance. Walked into the Orison Holdings archive, navigated to a very specific secure directory, and copied a folder called, let me read this file name again, A&D 1232 2025.
And just walked right out the front door with it, handed it to the world. The internal timestamp on this just screams authenticity.
And that folder, that file, I mean, that's the holy grail, isn't it?
It has to be.
The rumored, the mythical, the perpetually theorized true track list for angels and demons. The album we all thought was just, what, a 17-track ghost?
Right, a myth D.L.B. left in his wake. But no, hold on. This is not the 17-track ghost from that old blurry screenshot we analyzed back in the summer.
No, this is different.
This alleged internal file is a 20-track document of pure certified chaos.
20 tracks.
We thought the other leaks this cycle, Bipolar Scorpio being out, 11 Dreams about to drop, the Mercy's Return audio that snuck out, we thought that was the peak.
We thought we'd reached maximum excitement.
And we were so wrong.
There were appetizers. This is the entire feast.
20 tracks of pure, unadulterated maximalist ego. This is the album we all suspected existed.
But kind of hoped wasn't true.
Right, because it's just too big to exist. This is the Hellcut.
Absolutely. This is the version of D.L.B. that was chasing global chart numbers. The one that chose star-studded flex over quiet introspection.
The D.L.B. who still felt like he needed to win.
Exactly. This is the entire blueprint of his global takeover plan laid out right before he shelved it all for the quiet, healing devastation of Mercy's return.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We are analyzing the sheer audacity, the strategic brilliance, and, frankly, the logistical nightmare in this document.
We have to figure out, track by track, the psychological and logistical cost of walking away from this specific project.
How do you bury a masterpiece this large, this volatile, this expensive?
We're treating this document as the final testimony of the pre-retirement D.L.B. persona, the one who still felt he had something to prove to the world, to the industry, and maybe, most importantly, to himself.
That he could marshal the biggest names on the planet onto one project and just control the entire conversation.
It's his ultimate power fantasy, rendered in a 20-track spreadsheet.
Okay, before we jump into the features, and believe me, we're jumping in, we have to do the mandatory, absolutely critical disclaimer.
Absolutely have to. So, for the record, the Deep Dive Oddcast and Neon Core Media have no ownership of or official connection whatsoever to D.L.B, V2V by Debates, Orison Holdings, 11SIX Music, Neon Vision Studios, or any of their affiliated entities.
None.
We are reacting solely, and I need to stress the word solely, to publicly circulating alleged leaks and documents provided to us by the community.
We are analysts, researchers, dedicated fans, and cultural commentators.
We are not insiders. We're not affiliated with any of the artists or labels mentioned. We are here to analyze the cultural significance of the document, period.
Okay. Conscience cleared. Now let's talk about the impossible.
Let's do it.
So, disclaimer done. Let's start with the one track that, the second you read it, it just summarizes the entire audacity of this album's premise.
And it's not even the opener.
No. It's buried deep in the track list, which is, a flex in itself, a piece of pure confidence. We're talking about track 16.
Track 16. Same girl. And you have to read the features out loud, slowly, just to absorb the gravity of it.
Kanye West and Drake.
On the same track.
Produced by Boy Wonder.
Stop. Just stop right there. The sheer, unmitigated impossibility of brokering a record with two of music's most famously, bitterly, mutually antagonistic forces.
Kanye and Drake. These two artists have shaped the last decade of hip-hop pretty much through their opposition to each other.
And D.L.B. had them, sitting there, locked in the vault, ready to go in an album he just decided not to release.
It's the immediate, undeniable thesis statement of D.L.B's gravitational pull at its absolute zenith.
Who else in the industry could do that? I mean, arguably not even Jay-Z or Beyonce has the political capital, the creative clout.
The sheer force of personality.
Yeah, to make two such volatile, competing entities feel comfortable enough to even contribute to the same project.
And the legend around Same Girl is so crucial here, because it gets around that awkward question of, did D.L.B actually get them in the same room?
Right.
The fan lore, and this track list only makes it stronger, is that this was accidental perfection.
Exactly. The narrative suggests it wasn't some meticulously planned session where they were forced to coexist. The rumor is they both recorded separate, independent verses.
For two totally different D.L.B ideas that were in development.
Right. Maybe Kanye was for a soul sample track, Drake was for some later R&B thing. But then D.L.B and the 11SX team, and it had to be Boy Wonder on the production, realized the pieces
Somehow magically
fit perfectly over the final Boy Wonder beat structure.
It's such a brilliant way to explain the politically impossible without sacrificing the outcome.
Right.
Whether it was accidental or, brilliantly engineered by D.L.B's A&R team, the fact is he had the cultural capital to make both men feel comfortable enough to contribute, even if they didn't know the final configuration.
It just shows the level of trust and secrecy built around 11SAX music.
That D.L.B could essentially trick the most powerful, sensitive egos in the industry into an accidental collaboration.
But doesn't that theory, the whole accidental perfection thing, doesn't it undercut the artistic statement a little bit?
How so?
I mean, the audacity is proven, yes, but if they never intended to be on a track together and D.L.B just sort of Frankensteined it, doesn't that prove his logistical pull more than his artistic command?
See, I think that is the artistic command.
Okay.
The album is called Angels and Demons. It's about dualities, conflict, control. He wasn't looking for harmony. He was looking for tension. The tension of an accidental, forced proximity between two giants is maybe more on theme than some polite planned collab. It makes D.L.B the ultimate puppet master.
So it proves his system is bigger than both of their egos combined.
Exactly. It's genius.
Okay, I'll grant you that. It repositions him not just as an artist, but as a curator of industry chaos.
There you go.
But okay, having established the logistical nightmare of track 16, let's look at how he planned to leverage that influence globally right from the jump. Let's go to track 2.
Track 2. For the Night, Good Girl Gone Bad, featuring Bruno Mars and Felix of Stray Kids.
Produced by Joyans.
This is where the global strategy kicks in, immediately. It sets the tone for total market dominance.
This is pure, ruthless, strategic, global warfare. You put Bruno Mars, who is timeless, undeniable prop accessibility.
He's the American market, the European market, all of it.
Next to Felix, a K-pop icon specifically linked to JYP and HYBE circles, which immediately unlocks massive Asian and emerging global markets.
This is the final, realized execution of D.L.B's whole history with the global A&R circuit. Remember those stories about him being invited to HYBE, the deep connections he built with JYP and SM leadership? This Felix feature is the physical musical product of that.
It's designed to unlock massive international streams at the same time. You're aiming for 1 billion streams on day one, not 1 million.
And this track, For the Night, this is the origin point for that brilliant, deep-cut fan theory that really elevates the whole album's concept.
The two sides of Bruno theory.
I love this one. It defines the duality so perfectly.
The conspiracy is that there are two entirely different emotional reads from Bruno Mars layered on the track.
Not just a simple harmony stack or a backing vocal.
No, a distinct angel cut vocal track and a distinct demon cut vocal track. It embeds the album's core duality right there in the opener.
It suggests the ultimate musical chameleon, Bruno Mars, was literally embodying both sides of the album's central conflict in his performance.
One take is smooth, melodic, pleading. The other is a bit more abrasive, maybe even sneering.
All thanks to Joyan's fluid R&B pop engineering, which can seamlessly fuse those two opposing reads into one coherent pop song.
It's a foundational conflict wrapped in a perfectly constructed, globally accessible package.
It takes the idea of duality and makes it audibly real. And that elegance, that's Joyan's genius. She's the bridge builder.
Without her, Bruno's two sides and Felix's K-pop precision next to D.L.B's darker tone. It might just sound disjointed.
She gives it that glossy R&B pop shell.
And then you have the guaranteed money shot, the one designed purely for commercial dominance. Track 3.
Beer Pong. featuring Post Malone, Heezy Brown, and Duke Boone. Produced by DJ RVYR.
Posty is automatic chart gold. That feature is designed for maximum saturation.
No question. The rumor is this track was already pre-cleared, mastered, and secretly pitched to major playlists like today's top hits.
Before he decided to shelve the album.
Exactly. This track was supposed to be DJ RVYR's massive move into dominating top 40 radio.
Proving that 11SIX could control the atmospheric pop space.
And that's fascinating because DJ RVYR, River Simone Lawson, she's known for that chill trap, that electronic R&B, that atmospheric design.
Right. Her style with the lo-fi drum patterns and the subtle echoes, pushing that directly into the high-octane Post Malone world showed a massive conscious bet on mood.
On atmosphere for commercial success over traditional pop structure.
It's 11SIX saying, we can make atmospheric mood music a top 40 chart topper.
Her tag, that recognizable whisper, Rivers messing with them drums again, would have been all over the radio, cementing 11SIX's sonic brand in the mainstream.
And that trio of features, Post Malone, the external chart giant, Heezy Brown from the internal melodic Live Collective, Duke Boone from the Wild Horse Records country imprint, it just proves the engineered crossover strategy.
It's a closed-loop system designed for total domination.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have to spend some serious time on the Morgan Wallen tracks.
The Twin Wallen sessions?
Yes, because this moves beyond a simple feature and to a deliberate statement about genre collapse and market segmentation.
The maximalist approach was so clear. Why make one groundbreaking country rap crossover
when you can make two and cover both the street market and the sophisticated pop market at the same time?
It totally confirms that fan lore. The rumor was that both tracks came from the same marathon session where Wallen was just feeling highly experimental.
Gave D.L.B a trove of vocals.
And they were split into two strategically opposing sonic directions by two different 11SIX producers.
Let's start with the aggressive one, the pure Hellcut version, track 6, Lil Country Lil Hood.
Featuring Morgan Wallen and Big X the Plug.
Produced by Hustle Harmonics.
And that's the key. This is D.L.B leaning into the 808s. Hustle Harmonics is his core structural architect, the primary production brand.
Their signature is that cinematic undercurrent, the lo-fi textures, that essential dark warmth.
So when you see Hustle Harmonics on a track like this, you know you're getting heavier 808s, a grittier mix, a harder sonic edge.
This was the pure, uncut country trap fusion, leaning heavily on that southern foundation that D.L.B respects so much.
It was designed to be the aggressive club hit, meant for truck speakers and basement parties.
It pairs the massive stadium draw of Wallen with the authentic street foundation of Big X the Plug, who's an undeniable force, all wrapped in that signature 11SIX aesthetic.
It's an aggressive, calculated collision.
And the beauty of the strategy is the contrast. Now look across the track list to track 13.
Tequila Nights.
Featuring Morgan Wallen and that Mexican OT. Produced by... And immediately her melodic engineering just changes the entire trajectory.
You see her name and you know the direction shifts from aggression to refinement.
Her presence. The focus on harmony stacks, lyrical top lines, R&B pop delicacy. It means this track was aimed squarely at a completely different audience.
It suggests Wallen would be performing something much more vulnerable, confession-like, maybe a ballad structure.
Smoothing the rough edges between his voice and that Mexican OT's distinct flow.
Choyon's is the bridge builder. She's applying that K-pop-influenced precision to a genre that is fundamentally rougher around the edges.
This would have been aimed for a polished R&B slow jam or a sophisticated pop market, the kind of track for late-night radio playlists.
If Lil Country Lil Hood was the bar fight,
Tequila Nights was the quiet, regretful phone call at 3 a.m.
And that, ultimately, is the strategic genius D.L.B applied to his entire feature list. He strategically covered both bases before walking away from all of it.
One track for the aggressive street market, one for the refined, sophisticated pop market. It's an unprecedented level of market segmentation.
All contained on one unreleased album. He wasn't just making an album.
He was launching a dual-front cultural assault.
And that maximalist global assault continues through the rest of the album. We see K-pop, elegant R&B, and internal 11SX strength all being deployed at the same time.
Proving that D.L.B saw no genre boundaries, only markets to conquer.
Look at track 15, Long Distance, featuring Jenny of Blackpink and Daniel Caesar.
Produced once again by Joyons.
It's the strategic use of K-pop royalty and R&B elegance designed for absolute flawless execution.
And Joyon's role is so crucial here again, ensuring the fusion of Jenny's highly polished, precise sound with Daniel Caesar's soulful, intimate, and often looser delivery.
She makes sure the track is flawless, high-level R&B that respects both of their individual aesthetics.
And this track, Long Distance, it was previously cited in the decoy track theory.
Right, where fans suspected it was a potential replacement for the original redacted track 10.
The fact that it exists so deep in the track list shows that the high-level R&B global focus of that section of the album was intentional and structurally supported.
It wasn't a one-off. It was a pillar of the album's international ambition.
Then you jump to track 18, Girl, Girl Gone Bad, featuring Zongsky, Lotto, Doja Cat, and Ruby Rose. Produced by DJ Raviwire.
This is raw female power and star quality stacked on top of each other in a way that feels almost competitive.
This is a masterclass in internal anchoring. You have Zongsky, the South Korean British Juilliard-trained vocalist, confirmed Crown SI member, providing the 11SX core.
She provides the structural, technical stability,
contrasting sharply with the three high-profile, explosive external features like Lotto, Doja Cat, and Ruby Rose, who represent commercial trap pop dominance.
It's the 11SFX aesthetic filtering chaos. DJ Raviwire's atmospheric design would likely give this a slick electronic R&B backbone.
Maybe even a chill trap feel, making it less of a typical rap posse cut built on aggression.
And more of a highly textured, luxurious track celebrating female autonomy and slickness.
It's the sound of the Crown SI collective, which Zongsky belongs to, taking center stage and proving they can hold their own against global superstars.
And finally, the internal 11SIX strength that is so crucial to D.L.B's emotional honesty shows up on track 5.
Hold Me Down, featuring Plies and Leona J., produced by Joyans.
Leona J. is a core D.L.B collaborator and a major force in the trap soul aesthetic, a key member of Crown LA.
The rumors surrounding this track is beautiful because it embodies the album's central conflict in miniature.
The story of refinement versus raw emotions.
That's exactly it. The lore says the Joyans originally built this as a stripped-down piano ballad.
A perfect, sophisticated glass cathedral centered on Leona J's emotional, refined, and highly technical vocals.
She was aiming for maximum R&B elegance.
But then Plies, known for that raw, confessional, almost abrasive, no-filter style.
He jumped on the beat.
And the sheer emotional weight and grit of his take forced the entire track to be structurally rebuilt.
Exactly. Instead of cleaning the muddy boots, they rebuilt the cathedral floor with concrete.
It became a hybrid R&B trap confession, mixing Plies' raw, unflinching emotion with Leona J's refined, layered Crown X female harmony stacks.
That track is a perfect microcosm of what Angels and Demons was trying to be.
The conflict between controlled, marketable elegance and raw, unavoidable human grit. That internal clash defines the whole record.
So we've analyzed the tracks, and the pattern is clear. This album is a logistical monster, but the only way it works.
The only way you can put Kanye, Drake, Morgan Wallen, and Post Malone on the same project and have it feel cohesive.
Right, instead of just a compilation mixtape.
It's through the meticulous, almost architectural system of 11SIX music.
We need to stop calling these people beat makers.
They are distinct, specialized creative identities. They're functioning as different wings of the 11SIX architecture.
Sonic engineers, each responsible for managing a different sonic quadrant of the Angels and Demons chaos.
They provide the necessary structural integrity for D.L.B's maximalist vision.
Okay, so let's define the core sound, starting with the bedrock. The structural architects. Hustle Harmonics.
Hustle Harmonics is the primary production brand. It's D.L.B himself, Mika Nami, and Jihei Seo.
Their function is to define the core 11SIX sonic identity, which D.L.B has described as intimate energy.
Their signature is essential lo-fi textures, deep analog soul influences, and the cinematic undercurrent that provides the dark warmth.
They are the glue. They ensure the album feels cohesive, even with 20 features and 7 different genres clashing.
When you hear that dark warmth, you know you are getting the autobiographical, emotional atmosphere of D.L.B's world.
It doesn't matter if Post Malone or Big Tuck is rapping, they handle the structure and the emotional core.
And their tag, that whispered female voice, Hustle Harmonics, it's a signal that this track is anchored in the deepest, most authentic part of D.L.B's aesthetic.
They build the foundation that allows the other producers to experiment wildly on top of it.
Then you have the critical component for all the global flex and genre crossing, Joyans.
She is the melodic bridge.
A verifiable force. She's a member of the K1A girl group, but her primary function within 11SIX is as the R&B pop crossover specialist.
She handles the lyrical top lines, melodic progression, and those intricate harmony stacks.
Which are absolutely crucial for tracks attempting high-stakes genre fusion, like the Wallen tracks or Long Distance with Caesar and Jenny.
Her key traits are that fluid R&B pop crossover combined with a high level of Korean pop sensibility.
It gives everything a polished, expensive sound, even when blended with 11SIX's darker tone. She polishes the grit.
She takes the raw emotional intent and makes it universally appealing. Her tag, Touched by Joyens, Soulfelt, is a promise of sonic elegance.
Next up, DJ YR, the atmospheric designer. She's responsible for the texture, the mood, and the deceptive calm that lets tracks breathe.
River Simone Lawson, based in Las Vegas, is so crucial for the mid-tempo records. She brings the chill trap, electronic R&B, and those signature lo-fi drum patterns.
The echoing textures.
Exactly. She creates a drum-driven emotional bounce that still feels intimate. She's the master of deceptive calm.
Creating backdrops that allow the lyrical content to feel deeply personal yet expansive, perfect for those reflective late-night drive tracks.
And if Ridgy YR is the atmosphere and the texture, DJ Climax 61 is the pure kinetic energy.
He is the engine of the Hellcut.
Maximus Prince King. Trap club fusion, heavy, distorted 808s, and that classic Miami bass influence.
He is brought in specifically for energy-focused, high BPM hype records.
The pure, aggressive Hellcut bounce. He strips away the polish and delivers pure sonic adrenaline.
And his tag is non-negotiable. DJ Climaxy. 3 X's if you nasty.
And this production machine is on full, glorious display in track 11, Club Gospel.
Featuring Future and Avery Millions, produced by DJ Climax 61.
That track exemplifies the Hellcut's pure kinetic energy and chaos. It was rumored to be the chaotic, euphoric original album closer.
The ultimate definition of the choir in a strip club core aesthetic.
It forces the listener into a high BPM state, blending the sacred, the layered, almost religious sounds of the Crowniac harmonies with the profane.
Climax, aggressive Miami bass, Future's distinct flow, and the subject matter of just being completely unhinged.
It's a necessary emotional release that had to be contained on this album.
But the 11SXX team had to balance that global chaos and high BPM energy by intentionally grounding the album in its core.
Which means deep Southern royalty and Texas allegiance.
They weren't just making a pop album for the world, they were making a regional statement for their foundation.
Look at the sheer density of Texas legends D.L.B. prioritized. Track 9, Texas Freestyle Made.
Featuring Lil Flip, Lil Rin, and Charlie Boy. Produced by Hustle Harmonics.
This is D.L.B.'s love letter to the Dirty South.
It's an intentional nod to the foundation that defines his roots. It's not just a feature, it's a reunion. A moment of profound respect.
Lil Rin is a founding member of YHB, the Young Headbusters, and Charlie Boy is one of the freestyle kings.
This is D.L.B. fulfilling a decade-old promise to collaborate with his East Texas Day One crew.
He grounds the album in authenticity and shared history, proving he never forgot where the sound came from.
And that deep connection continues with the legendary entry that replaced the original redacted track 10 on the older document.
Track 10, 175, To Mean Eugene, featuring Big Tuck.
Produced by Hustle Harmonics.
The title itself is pure lore that only deep fans understand. It references a real specific stretch of highway, a specific drive in Texas that allegedly inspired the entire Angels half of the album.
A moment of quiet, personal, reflective inspiration that became the foundation for the entire emotional architecture.
Fans called the title, and I love this quote, the most Dallas thing ever read.
Big Tuck's verse acts as the spiritual anchor, grounding the album in emotional autobiographical reality.
Even as D.L.B. was chasing global superstars like Bruno Mars and Kanye West, he made sure the emotional axis of the album was rooted in the streets and roads that raised him.
It prevents the album from floating away on a cloud of ego.
And that allegiance is fully confirmed with track 14, Still Lone Star, featuring Mike Jones and YHB, again Hustle Harmonics.
It just solidifies his commitment to his Houston-Dallas roots, making sure the structural integrity of the album is rooted in that intimate, dark, warmth aesthetic.
It's a recurring theme. Even amid the global chaos of a Wallen or a Felix feature, the emotional core remains geographically specific and deeply authentic.
It's the 11SX brand.
Okay, we have to transition now to the absolute climax of this document.
The finale.
Because the 20-track revelation completely changes the lore of the missing track 10.
It wasn't just removed.
No. According to this document, it was moved, expanded, and given the ultimate maximalist treatment as the new impossible final track.
Prepare yourself. We are talking about track 20, Angel Wings.
The feature list is just it's staggering.
Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Rosé of Blackpink, and Kendrick Lamar.
All on one track.
Produced by DJ Mustard and DJ Review.
That is 4 cultural monoliths who collectively possess hundreds of millions of monthly listeners.
Who break the internet just by sharing a photo.
All on one track is the final statement of a shelved album.
The sheer, unadulterated logistical difficulty of this project is now fully, definitively justified.
It wasn't shelved because it was difficult. It was shelved because it was too large, too potent to survive in the real world.
Let's analyze the crown jewels individually. Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga.
They are the prime educated suspects for the original missing track 10.
Because they fit the 100M+ listener requirement and represented the conflicting artistic and corporate demands that supposedly complicated the album's clearance.
Swift is corporate pop power and commercial machine dominance. Gaga is artistic freedom, theatrical reinvention, the high art side of pop.
The fact that they appear together alongside other giants justifies the too legally volatile rumor that led to the original redaction.
It confirms the clearance nightmares were real, volatile, and expensive. But D.L.B. pushed it through anyway, only to negate it himself.
And adding Rosé, another major K-pop anchor from Blackpink, just cements the album's global reach and proximity to Asian markets.
It mirrors the strategic decision to include Felix earlier on the album.
This track was designed to hit every major cultural and geographical quadrant on the planet simultaneously.
And then you have Kendrick Lamar.
The critical darling, the generational lyricist.
His presence lends instant artistic credibility and lyrical intensity to the closing statement.
It ensures the track isn't just a global pop flex, but a lyrically dense, critically resonant piece of art.
It's D.L.B. appealing to the numbers. Swift, Gaga, Rosé, and the critics, Kendrick all at once.
The production choice is equally brilliant, a fusion of two powerful forces. DJ Mustard, a major commercial voice known for club dominance,
combined with DJ Review, 11/6's atmospheric designer.
This fusion represents the perfect blend of industry dominance, Mustard's proven radio formula, and 11/6's intimate, dark emotional architecture from Review Sexture.
It's the sound of the entire music industry meeting D.L.B's aesthetic on his own terms. It is a total musical warhead.
So this finale track confirms it. Angels and Demons was the purest embodiment of the Ego Flex album, the Hellcut.
It was the version of D.L.B. still chasing numbers, still trying to prove himself to the industry, still carrying the impossible weight of ego right before his retirement date.
And that ultimate ambition, that need for total victory.
It's precisely what forced the pivot away from this project. The ego was just too large to survive alongside the spiritual journey he was on.
Which means we have to look at the track that broke the narrative.
Track 7, Dear God. Featuring Rod Wave and Tala Duwada, now Leonary, produced by Joyans.
This is the actual, undisputed, emotional centerpiece that forced D.L.B. to shelve the project. This track represents the angel side winning the internal war.
The lore states that Rod Wave's raw, soulful, absolutely vulnerable vocal take allegedly made the entire studio go completely quiet.
A silence so profound it was terrifying.
And that silence, the immediate, unavoidable emotional impact of that truth and vulnerability, was the absolute moment D.L.B. realized the healing arc of Mercy's Return mattered infinitely more than the numbers arc of Angels and Demons.
Rod Wave's voice is pure, raw pain and confession. It just cuts through the calculated, polished chaos of the 19 other tracks.
And you have Tala Duwada, his first signing, his muse, the spiritual anchor of the Crowned XUI collective, anchoring that angel side.
Providing that ethereal R&B lo-fi sorrow that directly contrasts the chaotic features surrounding it, she represents purity and foundation.
It's a moment of profound clarity embedded in the middle of a war zone.
The decision was made.
And the final nail in the coffin of the Hellcut was, perhaps, track 17, Dance in the Rain.
Featuring Illmatic and Kodak Black, produced by Plug-in Beats.
This is the emotional walkout moment. It's rumored to be the very last track recorded for the project.
It served as the required closure. Fans treat it as the Walk Out the Fire track.
The necessary emotional bridge into the quieter acceptance of Mercy's Return. It has that weight of finality and exhaustion.
It sounds like D.L.B. saying goodbye to the industry monster he created.
So, we know what he shelved. A 20-track behemoth designed for total global market dominance.
And we know why. The emotional pivot catalyzed by a moment of undeniable truth in the studio.
But the most powerful thing about this album isn't the music itself. It is the cultural power of its absence.
Absolutely. Angels and Demons now defines D.L.B.'s career precisely because it never came out.
It exists as a perfect, uncompromised piece of art in the collective imagination.
It reinforces the fan consensus that D.L.B. walked away because Mercy's Return was what he could survive sharing, and Angels and Demons was simply too large, too chaotic.
And too ego-driven to align with the V2V philosophy of no price on peace.
The airport hard drive story, even if it's pure fan lore, has become canonical in explaining the integrity of his decision.
We have to explore this legend. As the story goes, a master drive labeled A&D Final Bounces gets flagged by TSA at the airport and misplaced during a routine check.
It wasn't stolen. It was simply out of D.L.B.'s immediate control for a few days.
And when the airline finally located it and prepared to return it, D.L.B. allegedly refused to accept it back.
He sent the now famous internal quote, "If it left my chain of custody, it's dead to me."
This frames the shelving not as failure, but as the ultimate artistic sacrifice, upholding the V2V philosophy of ownership as protection and control as integrity.
The album wasn't destroyed. Its sacred closed-loop chain of custody was broken.
And that, for D.L.B. and the V2V mandate, was enough to negate the entire project. It's a statement about integrity over commercial performance.
And that leads directly to the famous producer-adjacent comment that keeps circulating across the fan forums, the epitaph for the project.
Some records are too expensive to exist twice.
And the resulting line, "This is a museum piece."
It perfectly sums up the fate of the Hellcat. The album was negated not because it was bad or incomplete or even difficult to clear,
It was finished and it was shelved.
but because it was too good at the wrong time. It became an artifact.
Something to be revered through its silence and its legend, not consumed and criticized in the messy, chaotic marketplace.
And even in its silence, D.L.B. managed to create a definitive aesthetic footprint that fans recognized instantly.
Proving the 11SX machine was consistent. We have to revisit that beautiful, unifying aesthetic phrase.
The choir in a strip club core.
That phrase, allegedly from a studio night staff worker who overheard a playback session.
A fly on the wall, someone who didn't care about the politics, only the sound.
It summarizes the aesthetic D.L.B. managed to create with the 11SX machine. The beautiful collision of the feminine, sophisticated elegance of the Crown and Guy harmony stacks.
The choir.
With the heavy, aggressive, undeniable DJ climax future bass.
The strip club.
It's the meeting point of the angel and the demon. It's the structural brilliance of hustle harmonics and joy-ons meeting the kinetic energy of Climax X1. It is maximalist chaos held together by technical mastery.
This entire saga confirms the final, quiet victory of Daniel Bates, the man who founded V2V, over D.L.B., the persona chasing worldwide acclaim.
The decision to shelve a 20-track album featuring Kanye, Drake, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, and Kendrick Lamar, a cultural weapon of mass chart destruction right before his retirement date.
It confirms that Daniel Bates, the man prioritizing truth, spiritual healing, and autonomy, finally won.
Won over D.L.B., the persona chasing acclaim, sales, and validation.
And this act was only possible because of the V2V architecture he spent a decade building.
Because Orison Holdings owned all the masters, because 11SX Music maintained total creative freedom.
He didn't have to fight a major label, a corporate board, or external pressure. He only had to fight his own ego.
His ambition and his need for validation. And he chose to bury the ego-driven masterpiece to secure the integrity of his final, more personal statement, Mercy's Return.
So to synthesize this entire deep dive, the alleged 20-track Angels and Demons track list was a real, logistically terrifying project.
Surgically segmented by the 11SIX production machine to dominate every single market simultaneously.
From the country charts to K-pop streams, from the critical consensus to the club bass.
It was D.L.B.'s greatest commercial and creative flex. One that he had the immense, unique autonomy to create, control, and ultimately negate.
He proved he could build the biggest album on Earth, and then he proved he could walk away from it.
The album now exists as the most famous unreleased work attached to 11SIX Music.
A testament to D.L.B.'s gravitational pull and his radical decision to choose silence over stardom. It is the perfect ghost, the shadow that proves the efficacy of his entire self-made empire.
It is the ultimate statement of control.
We must restate for the record that the Deep Dive podcast and Neon Core Media have no ownership of or official connection to D.L.B., V2V by D. Bates, Orison Holdings, 11SIX Music, Neon Vision Studios, or any of their ventures.
Our role here is strictly as analysts reacting to circulating alleged documents and the cultural shockwave they have generated.
Now, here is the final provocative thought for you to consider as you sit with the sheer scale of this track list.
If an album becomes infinitely more mythic, more powerful and more defining of an artist's career because it was intentionally withheld?
thereby bypassing the inevitable critical backlash, the corporate interference, the messy politics, and the chart demands of a real release.
Was its greatest success found not in its commercial performance, not in its global numbers, but in its profound strategic silence?
Was the act of shelving Angels and Demons the true masterpiece, an album so perfect, so expensive, so volatile, that it could only exist uncompromised in the collective imagination of the fans who know the lore?